lot of information. We don't expect you to remember everything. If you have any questions, just let me know, or if you think of something after I leave, you can give us a call. Okay? Are you familiar with hospice?
Yes.
Okay.
My wife was a hospice volunteer many years ago.
Okay.
When it was Catskill Hospice.
Yeah. It's the same. We just renamed it. Alright, so I'm going to give you this pen. I'll just slide up a little bit. So the hospice program provides palliative care to meet the physical, emotional, and spiritual needs of the patient and the family. And the focus of that care provided is to relieve pain and symptoms and improve the quality of life. We provide medications and treatments that are aimed at comfort. However, any extraordinary measures such as CPR is not initiated by hospice.
Yeah, I have a DNR.
Okay.
A DNI.
We provide services primarily in the home. We have a whole team that includes nurses, medical directors, home health aides, social workers, spiritual care providers, and we can provide medical equipment and medications for comfort. And we also have a 24-hour on-call. All right, so this is your new number for everything. This is a magnet you can put on the refrigerator if you need to. So this is your new 911, or this is your new number for anything, any questions that you have, okay? That during the business hours, there's always a nurse in the office, and then after hours, it's an answering service, and a nurse will call you right back. We try and help you over the phone with any issues or concerns you're having. If we think an in-person visit is indicated, we can send an LPN out, even in the middle of the night, okay? All right, so sometimes, in rare occasions, the hospital visit is indicated, but we want you to go through the steps first. Call us and we'll send somebody out to help, and then when we cross the bridge, if a hospital visit is indicated, we can get approval through there.
Well, as I understand it, my basic problem is ventricular tachycardia.
Okay.
I've had several attacks.
Yeah.
And they said essentially that heart is weakened, and probably another attack.
Right. Yeah, I read that you declined the converter, the AICD, the defibrillator, implanted one.
No, I just normal.
Just the pacemaker. Yeah. Okay. All right. So if you're having issues, we can try and help you be more comfortable. But if you wanted to, have the shock, then you would have to call the ambulance. Okay. So for hospital visits that are covered under hospice, it's for comfort measures only. So the example I like to give is cancer patients whose pain we cannot treat in home with the medications that we have. We can send them to the hospital for IV pain medicine. Okay. You will be admitted under Dr. Friedel. He's going to be writing orders for us, and we also have our medical directors that are able to support you too.
Dr. Friedel is also my personal physician.
We work with him quite a bit, so we're familiar. Your family remains your primary caregivers, and we're in the home as a resource. Another page in here allows us to access your medical records. The hospice benefit is completely voluntary. You can discontinue at any time for any reason without penalty. Most people that come off our service move out of the area. We cover Otsego, Delaware, and Schoharie County. Sometimes people do get better and no longer qualify under Medicare criteria. It's very rare, but we're constantly reevaluating and making sure you're meeting criteria. The hospice benefit is also 100% paid for by Medicare. There are no out-of-pocket expense. Do you have any supplemental insurance?
Well, my program is the New York State
NISHIP?
which the New York State covers. I think kind of acts as my additional coverage, prescriptions and other like. plays very well. I don't know.
Yeah, that's an excellent benefit. All right, there is a clause here that says services not covered, and that's unauthorized ambulance transports and emergency room visits. And the key word there is unauthorized. Like I said, call us first, go through the steps, and we'll see what's covered. Our goal is to keep you home and keep you comfortable. So that's what we're gonna try and do. You said you had a DNR, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the team that I mentioned earlier, the RN visit is the only one that's required by Medicare. The RN will come weekly, and she'll do an assessment, she'll do some vitals, go over your medications, make sure your doses are appropriate, any refills that you need. She can also do wound care. All right, and that's every week. Her visits are about an hour. So we have another voluntary service that we have, our home health aides. This can be in addition to any private care that you have. The home health aides can come usually starting 1 or 2 times a week, and that can increase as your needs increase. And their primary tasks are hygiene, so they can help you shower or they can give you a bed bath. Is that something you would be interested in? We
Yeah.
can work around scheduling and stuff like that, so
Okay.
we're not 2 people in the home at the same time. We can
Gotcha.
try and work.
Yeah, that'd be very helpful.
Our social worker and our spiritual care providers will call you individually and talk about their services in more detail. And during that phone call, you can decide if you need a visit from them. Okay? And then we also have volunteer services, which, are beneficial. They can run errands, pick up something at the pharmacy, come and provide companionship, any kind of thing like that, on an
Great.
as-needed basis.
Now the prescription is, I have the prescription list in my discharge,
Great.
and are those things you would pick up normally?
It depends on the medication, but I'll go over all of your meds at the end.
Yep, and we
Um,
have the meds from the Bassett Pharmacy.
Oh, perfect.
They're right on the
comfort
kitchen
meds.
table. The
Okay,
ones that they
great.
send them home with
Yep,
them.
I'll go over all of them.
Excellent.
7, 8. No, 7, right?
7. Lucky sevens. 7, 7, 25. So it's like kind of, Martha would say that's 3 sevens, 2 plus 5, right?
Yeah. I was driving down here today and I realized that my registration expired. I was like, oh no. So I have to renew that online when I get home. All right. I just need you to sign on that top line. All right, so those 3 forms were for Helios. These next 2 are specifically for Medicare. This goes over again that the benefit is 100% paid for. There's no out-of-pocket. It also goes over the benefit periods. The first 2 benefit periods are 90 days each. That brings us to about the 6-month mark. At that point, you'll have a meeting with our medical director. And then any benefit period after that is 60 days as long as you continue to qualify. In the background, we're always reevaluating that you're meeting criteria for Medicare. This also designates Dr. Friedel as your primary doctor. And this designates that your benefit starts today. You'll be getting an explanation of benefits from Medicare, going over exactly what is covered and uncovered in about 2 weeks. If you need it any sooner, we can get it to you, but typically people don't need it. And I'm going to go over today all your meds that shouldn't be covered. Anything that isn't covered under the hospice benefit, you'll just continue to get the way you normally do. They just like to separate out the billing, being hospice and non-hospice.
A normal pharmacy visit.
We use for the meds that we cover, we use a mail order pharmacy called Enclara, and it's all delivered by FedEx. We can get things locally too.
But if something wasn't on your list, we would go with a Rite Aid.
Yeah. Yep. Get it the way you normally do.
Yeah, the stuff that came with you was filled through the Bassett pharmacy.
Typically, yeah, for our comfort meds, because like Rite Aid and Walgreens don't carry the
Right.
specific comfort meds, but your normal medication, if we need it locally, we can get it through your regular pharmacy.
Great.
I know, I heard Rite Aid was closing,
That's right.
but they'll probably transfer everything to Walgreens, because Walgreens had bought them out. So
Okay.
that's what I imagine would happen. Right on that top line again.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about them closing. As far as we know, the one out 400 Chestnut Street still open. I talked to them last week, so I don't know, but yeah, at some point they're gonna close.
When Walgreens bought them out,
It's only a matter of time.
some of them closed immediately, and then some of them didn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, I checked a closure list, and they didn't list the 400 Chestnut Street here
Oh,
in
good.
Oneonta. I know 94 closed. 94 Chestnut Street. There was another one there. They are closed. Have been for a couple of years.
Yeah, it happened a couple of years ago
Yeah.
when they bought. All right, so this next one is a caregiver agreement. This just says that your safety is a priority to us, and if you have any concerns about safety, we want you to let us know, and we'll let you know if we have any concerns as well. No pets?
No pets.
Okay.
Yep, my pet died.
I'm sorry.
Olivia, she's gone. She's gone a couple of years.
Was it a cat or a dog?
Cat.
Right on that line.
She disappeared and I found her in front of the back cellar stairs.
Is that where she? That's where she died. Yeah.
All coiled up, you know.
How
Yeah.
old?
We don't know.
It was a stray.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine
She was probably a senior cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, this next form is a controlled substance contract. Some of the medications that you pick up at Bassett are controlled substances like morphine, and this just says you'll take it as prescribed and not give it away or sell it or do anything nefarious.
Yeah, I had something on my Bassett materials. Warnings
Right on the top line.
regarding opiates. So some supposed to be there too.
Alright, this next form is an oxygen agreement. This just says that we all know oxygen is flammable and we're going to keep it away from open flame. Right on that top line. This last form allows us to access your medical records. What's your date of birth?
6/2/28.
You don't look 97.
That's what everybody says.
My grandmother just turned 99, July 4th. She's a July 4th baby. Alright, right on that middle line. And that's the last one that needs to be signed. These forms don't need to be signed. This is the patient's rights and responsibilities. You promise to treat you with consideration, dignity, and respect, and have your lifestyles, property values treated with respect. And we don't discriminate any of the protected classes. The next one is the HIPAA privacy policy. And then the last one is if you're not taking any medications, if you're no longer taking, they just don't want you flushing it down the toilet. Most pharmacies have a disposal program. All right, and that's it. Any questions on the paperwork?